Tyler King and Nathan Crosby at the Centennial Regional Arena as we get set for hockey. The second last regular season home game of the year for the Brooks Bandits tonight. And the opponent probably couldn't be much bigger than who they've got coming into town, the Spruce Grove Saints. But Nathan, before talking about the big opponent tonight, some words have to be said about last night against the Drayton Valley Thunder. First Junior A win for goaltender Ryan Baker, but a game that was never really out of the question until the dying minutes. Drayton Valley made it very, very interesting, particularly in the third period with a couple of big goals. And the Bandits needed one of their most effective offensive outputs of the year, a 32-2 shot margin in the second period, kind of highlighting it all in order to get by a DV team that really didn't make it easy last night.
They certainly didn't, and they were actually very well coached. And after the first period, they had a 2-1 lead, and we were thinking, oh boy, hang on, this has the potential for something interesting. Ryan Baker, his first start in net since November 24th, and I think just trying to figure things out there in the first period was maybe why he was a bit nervous, but it seemed like that was tempered in the second period, and Brooks played a very strong second period. Drayton had no answer there in the second. Maybe made it a little interesting in the third, but at the end of the day, Bandits offense just too much for the Thunder with 7 goals scored, and another strong game from the Bandits. A decent win for them on home ice. It wasn't a Picasso by any measure, but it was a win. They're 16th straight at home and 5th straight overall win.
Yeah, they count all the same no matter how pretty they are, but certainly another pretty and effective game for the Bandits captain, Dennis Sassana. 2 assists, including a beautiful threading of the needle to Connor Jean that got number 12, his 30th goal of the season last night. And with those 2 assists, Dennis Sassana moved up to 56 assists on the year. He's the first defenseman to do that in the AJHL in 28 years. It hasn't been done since the 1989-1990 season, and he can make some more history because he's got a few games left to rack up a few more points. Cale Makar's team record of 75 points is within range for him right now. And I mean, we were talking just before starting this video, Nathan, we're almost running out of things to say about what a year Dennis Sassana has had, and it really was typified last night.
It was, and I agree. I mean, I don't know what to add to this conversation about Dennis Sassana. Every game, he just continues to put up points and produce. He's one of the top players in this league, which makes for an interesting matchup against Spruce, which we'll get to in a second. But yeah, it's Dennis Sassana, the year he's had. We've heard from Ryan Papuano, his coach. He says nothing but great things about his growth this year and what he's learned about the game. And it's been an exceptional year for what I think is the AJHL's top defenseman.
And we'll find out the official results on that coming up in just a few days. But what we'll find out tonight is who can take the season series between Brooks and Spruce Grove, because both games between those two teams this year have been nail-biters. The Bandits won in a shootout back in the showcase. Spruce Grove won 1-0 just a little while back on the Bandits' last North Division road trip. And boy, was that ever an entertaining game where an odd man rush for Spruce Grove late in the third ended up being the difference. But it was a totally winnable game for Brooks. We're also expecting Mitch Benson to start tonight, and if he does, in the second period, he'll set the new AJHL record for minutes played by a goaltender. And one expects he'll have to be on his best game again for the Bandits to get 2 points out of the Saints, because they're a real fiery offensive team too.
They are, and if you look at 2 weeks ago when Brooks played Spruce Grove on February 10th, Benson was terrific in that game, but Nolan Kent in the Saints net was also very good in that game, and he got the shutout, a close game, a 1-0 win for the Saints. Totally different from that game they played at the showcase back in September in Camrose, which was one of the most wackiest games you'll ever see, where 11 goals were scored. I am not expecting that sort of game tonight at the CRA. I think we're going to have a very similar game to the one we had in Spruce Grove 2 weeks ago, a defensive struggle. And tonight's game features 2 of the best players in the AJHL, Dennis Sassana of the Bandits and Chris Van Oshaw of the Saints, who is having an outstanding year for Spruce Grove, and both of them are up for the AJHL MVP League Award.
The Saints will be looking to bounce back after they fell to Drumheller last night, and even though these teams know where they're finishing in the standings, this could be a very significant one, because if Brooks and Spruce Grove were to meet in the league final, it could be this game that would decide which team would have home ice advantage. But that's a long ways away. Right now we get set for a 7 o'clock puck drop between the Bandits and the Spruce Grove Saints here in Brooks tonight.